Word received from the feline breed compound reports that Major Sinclair of the United States Army has tested positive as a wolf breed. Major Sinclair is the first known wolf breeds to survive the extermination when word first broke of their creation a year ago. American military and science communities are quick to assure the press and government alike that there could be very few of these missing breeds, and that the odds of such escape were so astronomical at the time that if there were others, it would indeed be a miracle. Labs around the world that were creating and raising the wolf breed soldiers eradicated their creations on executive order of the head of the Genetics Council, none other than former Vice President Douglas Fennell. Investigations into the council members through computers and records seized during a coordinated strike against discovered labs revealed a cruelty and complete lack of human morality in the creation and training of these unique individuals. The atrocities performed by the Genetics Council, their guards and scientists, have been labeled by many as one of the most horrific crimes committed against living beings. Operation Indifference was a major strike that crossed international boundaries and borders and threw light on the depth of moral depravity that created, trained, and murdered men, women, and children who were being trained as killers and advanced soldiers to use against the general population in coming years, a private army that would know no mercy. But as scientists around the world are now claiming, the breeds rescued from the concentration camp-like conditions are showing an instinctive, pre-selective inner honor or law of nature. Records and training logs clearly prove that the Genetics Council was failing in their directive. They created the perfect soldier, but one who refused to kill innocents, and one who would, in the face of great pain, uphold the personal honor that had somehow been established. In all breeds but one. The Coyote Breeds. Jailers, in some cases trainers and executors, the coyote was the council's eventual triumph, some sources report. Unfortunately, as Operation Indifference commenced, and these heavily fortified labs were attacked, their creations were slaughtered, men, women, and children murdered, to prevent the freedom of these unique, genetically altered humans. Major Sinclair's story of escape from the compound at a mere 10 years of age, and his subsequent journey through social services as an orphan and ward of the state, has raised many questions about the survival of other hidden breeds, though. Breeds who escaped the initial destruction through sheer determination and luck. The Genetics Council was dismantled with the help of Marinus Tyler, wife and proclaimed mate to Callan Lyons, leader of the feline breeds who escaped from a New Mexico compound more than a decade ago. Since revealing themselves to the world, the feline breeds have worked exclusively around the world towards finding those of their brethren still being held captive in the labs that created them. Smaller, secretive labs that still work to perfect the genetic selection that will create the bloodthirsty, logical, cold-blooded killers the Council sought. To date, more than 100 feline breeds now occupy the former Council compound in Virginia and are making inroads in creating a comfortable atmosphere for the former captives who make their way there. The pure blood societies are on the rise now, though. What we once called white supremacists are now becoming blood supremacists and demanding the incarceration of the breeds to keep the genetic alterations the breeds carry out of the general population. Newly elected President Vernon Marion has scoffed at such demands, proclaiming the breeds to be no more a risk than Native American, Irish, or other foreign nationalities were centuries before. But the fight isn't over. As reported, attacks on breeds and the breed compound have been escalating over the months, and this new development, a breed living among us, unknown, as familiar to the men he fought with as the guy next door, has raised complications President Marion will have to face. Adopted children and known orphans have arrived in vast numbers to doctors' offices around the world, demanding genetic testing to prove they aren't carrying the breed DNA. Supremacists groups are now demanding this test become required in all doctors' offices, hospitals, and health facilities. It also raises the question that if wolf and feline escapees are now roaming the world, what of the coyotes that were bred to be their jailers? Reports state the coyote breeds were bred, raised, and trained to enhance the DNA that many Native American scholars have indicated could exclude them from what is being called breed honor, the instinctive code of nature all breeds so far claim. If the coyote, in its natural state, truly has no soul, then will the man created from that DNA have a conscience?